Drake ain't just losing to Kendrick. At this point, he losing to logic, to dignity, to common sense. And what's wild is, it ain't even just about rap no more. Drake might have just become the first rapper in hip-hop history to try suing his way out of an L. Real talk. While Kendrick Lamar out here running stadiums, setting records, and performing one of the most disrespectful diss tracks ever written in front of 50,000 people a night, Drake's filing lawsuits with meme pages is evidence. I wish I was making this up, bro. But hold up, that ain't even the wildest part, because Kendrick's grand national tour, it didn't just expose Drake, it humiliated his whole fan base. The denial, the lies, the conspiracy theories. We're talking about grown adults out here saying Kendrick used AI to fake a crowd. Yes, artificial intelligence, just to cope with the fact that Drake took the biggest L of his career. And I ain't just here to clown. This video right here is a timeline of that fall from grace. So if you still support OVO after all this, stick around. I got a mirror you need to look into. Leave a like if you believe in real hip hop. Subscribe if you're tired of the industry games. And let's unpack how this whole thing turned into the funniest meltdown the rap game ever seen. So boom, Kendrick Lamar launches the Grand National Tour. And off rip, you could feel it. This wasn't just some regular concert run. Nah, this was a celebration, a coronation, a funeral, and a victory lap at the same time. We're talking sold out arenas, thousands of fans screaming every word to Not Like Us, dancers lined up with choreography, and the crowd in sync like a damn Super Bowl halftime show. Meanwhile, on the other side of hip hop, what's Drake doing? Where he at? Silent. Nowhere to be seen, no concerts, no streams, no comeback track, just reposting quotes, ducking the smoke, and letting his legal team talk for him. That's how we moving now? That's the guy who had the nerve to call himself the GOAT, and somehow, his fans had the audacity to say Kendrick was dragging the beef. Bruh, how is the man who dropped one response track and disappeared the one doing too much, while the other guy literally tried to rewrite the end of the beef with paperwork? I don't even know what kind of mental gymnastics you gotta pull off to believe that one. Let's talk about the dumbest L this fan base took. So Kendrick's first tour stop starts. People still pulling up, right? The show's not even live yet. DJ Mustard, the opener, hasn't touched the stage. Folks just entering the building, and someone snaps a pic of the arena still halfway empty. Normal concert behavior. But the OVO squad, they took that one pic and ran wild. Posts popped up like, Kendrick flopped, can't even sell tickets. Y'all hyped this man for nothing. That was their big W. That one photo. Like, we ain't all been to a show before and seen the crowd trickle in. It was so desperate that you could feel the secondhand embarrassment through the screen. But the second real footage dropped, stadium full, wall-to-wall fans, the crowd going bananas, phones up, voices louder than the speakers. And just like that, all that flop talk went silent. You know what that is? That's projection. They wanted Kendrick to flop so bad, they were willing to believe anything that confirmed their Lil fantasy. Now this is where things got really weird. Like, bro, are you okay? Type weird. Once it became clear Kendrick's tour wasn't flopping, but actually thriving, the coping mechanisms evolved. Suddenly, these fans weren't just wrong, they were delusional. First, they said the videos of Kendrick's crowds were fake, edited, or AI-generated, like Kendrick had a server farm in his garage cranking out holograms. Then the narrative shifted to the label gave away free tickets just to make it look full. So now, it's a fake tour? What's next? The fans were paid actors? Drake fans really convinced themselves this was a deep fake concert with 20,000 CGI fans screaming lyrics that haven't even left the Billboard charts. At that point, I had to sit back and laugh. This ain't regular stan behavior. This is a full-on cult. You don't even gotta like Kendrick to see that these folks were making up entire fan fiction storylines just to cope with the L. It's like they live in a world where Kendrick is Voldemort and Drake is Harry Potter filing cease and desist letters from Hogwarts. Here's the stat they really ain't want to talk about. Kendrick's Grand National Tour already outselling Drake's last tour run, higher capacity venues, faster sellouts, more demand, more headlines, and the reviews through the roof, socials blowing up, clips trending on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, every platform. Compare that to Drake's last tour cycle. Yeah, he had fans, but the energy wasn't the same. Kendrick brought culture with him, brought a moment, people showing up with outfits tailored to the theme of the diss track, signs that say not like him, dudes in the crowd dressed like owls with red X's on their back. It was performance art and revenge rolled into one. So what did OVO fans do in response? They spiraled. Again, the CGI claims came back, then the fake energy claims. One even said, the people in the crowd don't even look like Kendrick fans. Like, bruh, what does a Kendrick fan look like? Someone who ain't in denial? At some point, it's not even funny, it's just sad. Drake used to be untouchable. But now, his fans out here sounding like conspiracy theorists on a message board, trying to decode crowd footage like it's the Zapruder film. See, this right here, this was the nail in the coffin. Kendrick steps on stage, the beat for Not Like Us drops, and the crowd erupts. People scream every word like it's their national anthem. Phones up, chants synchronized, folks jumping like it's a playoff game, and Kendrick, calm, confident, spitting each bar like it was aimed straight at the camera. He ain't just performed that track. He made it a moment assy. And you could tell this wasn't just about Drake. This was about sending a message to the whole industry. If you move like him, this could be you. And again, Drake fans couldn't take it. They started saying Kendrick was obsessed, that he was milking the beef. But let's not forget, Drake did the exact same thing when he dropped back-to-back on Meek Mill. That man played it on SNL. He performed it on tour. He made merch. He even stood in front of a screen playing Meek Mill memes during shows. But Kendrick does one live performance, and it's a problem. It ain't about logic. It's about loyalty. These fans ain't defending hip-hop. They defending a brand. They defending a persona that's been cracked wide open, and they don't want to admit it. But all this is just the surface-level meltdown. You ain't even heard about what Drake tried to do legally. I'm talking about lawsuits. I'm talking about citing actual fan pages in court as evidence. I'm talking about taking a rap beef, something that's always been settled on the mic, and trying to drag it into the legal system like it's Judge Judy. You thought this fan base was spiraling before? Wait till you see what they said when Kendrick clapped back without even saying a word. So here's where it stops being a rap beef and turns into a satire of itself. After getting demolished musically, Drake ain't hit the booth. He ain't booked a tour. He ain't pulled up anywhere. Nah, this man went straight to the courtroom like he was trying to turn Not Like Us into a class action lawsuit. And if that ain't the biggest L in rap beef history, I don't know what is. Now, I ain't making this up. Real court documents started popping up, and inside those papers, Drake was literally citing fan pages, TikTok clips, and meme accounts as proof of defamation. Like, bro, what even is this? You telling me the guy who once laughed at Meek Mill for not responding fast enough is now pulling out PDFs with screenshots from Twitter? This man trying to take down Kendrick, not with bars, but with subpoenas. And you know what that screams? Guilt. If you really didn't take an L, you wouldn't be doing all this. You wouldn't be trying to rewrite the ending of the beef through a legal loophole. You just rap. But instead, Drake out here acting like the first rapper to ever call 911 on a diss track. Now here's another big lie that his fans keep trying to run with. Drake never even said Kendrick's name. He kept it classy. He ain't even that pressed. All right, let's really talk. First off, Drake was sneak dissing Kendrick for months before Kendrick ever clapped back. From lines about megastars who can't go platinum to subliminals about ghostwriters and family men pretending to be dangerous. The man even dropped that tailor-made freestyle, AI tracker pretending it was two PAC and Snoop. Like that ain't the most direct diss in recent memory. But since he ain't say Kendrick Lamar out loud, they trying to act like it didn't count. That's coward behavior. You threw the rock and hid your hand. Meanwhile, Kendrick came through with Euphoria and name dropped this man on repeat. No subliminals, no tiptoeing, just raw disrespect front and center. And then he doubled down with Not Like Us, a track so personal, it made Drake's whole brand look like a costume. So don't sit here and say Drake was above the beef. He started the beef, he just couldn't finish it. Now let's talk about how truly off the rails this fan base went once they realized Kendrick's tour wasn't a fluke. It was a movement. After denying ticket sales, faking crowd conspiracies, and saying the audio was AI generated, they moved on to their next wild claim, that his AA was lip syncing. Yeah, they really went there. Clips of her set started going viral, her performing alongside Kendrick, killing her vocals, and immediately the same accounts that were screaming, Kendrick flopped, switched gears. She's not really singing. Watch her mouth, it's not matching the lyrics. She's just there for crowd filler. Like, bro, how much mental backflipping do y'all gotta do? First, Kendrick's crowd is fake, then his streams are fake, then his performances are fake. Now, SZA's vocals are fake? What's the next? Is Kendrick himself an AI too? Did ChatGPT write Not Like Us? Come on, man. At this point, these fans ain't arguing from reality. They just throwing darts at the wall and hoping something sticks. But nothing is, because the truth is sitting in plain sight, loud as hell, in every stadium across the country, man. Now this one really exposes how fake all this outrage is. When Kendrick performs Not Like Us, they say he's obsessed. They say he's dragging it out. They say he should move on. But go back to 2015, Drake versus Meek Mill. What did he do? Drake performed back-to-back at OVO Fest with memes on the screen. He wore t-shirts clowning Meek. He performed that track over and over and over again at every show, every club, every talk show. Even SNL ran a skit on it. And guess what? Nobody said a word. In fact, people celebrated it, called it iconic, called it a masterclass in pettiness. So now that Kendrick does the same thing, it's suddenly too much? Nah, the difference ain't the action. The difference is who took the L. When Drake was on top, it was all jokes and claps. But now that Kendrick cooked him, suddenly y'all want morals. Suddenly you want peace treaties. Suddenly it's, why can't we just make music without the beef? Man, please. This whole thing ain't even just about one-on-one beef anymore. What Kendrick is doing with this tour is bigger than Drake. He's showing us what hip-hop used to be about and what it still can be about. Real bars, real performances, cultural energy, no product placements, no fake collabs, just raw music, real emotion, and respect for the game. And Drake, bro, became a brand. He became a soap opera, more TMZ than MC. He went from best I ever had to best lawyer I ever hired. The transformation is complete. But Kendrick, he flipped the light switch on. He showed the world that this whole machine around Drake, it's smoke and mirrors, manufactured hype built on playlists, algorithms, and sympathy. But once you strip all that away, he got exposed. And Kendrick ain't even had to say much after that. His performances do all the talking now. So where do we go from here? Drake fans still out here in denial, spinning wild narratives, trying to gaslight the internet. But the rest of the culture, we already moved on. We watching Kendrick lead a new wave, a wave that's rooted in what the genre was always supposed to be. Drake could have responded, he could have rapped, he could have showed up and fought for his legacy, but instead, he sued, he tweeted, he disappeared, and then he let his fans fight the battle he lost. So if you still repping OVO right now, I ain't even mad at you. I'm just confused, because at some point, you gotta wake up and realize this whole thing became a joke. Not just Drake's brand, but the idea of what he stood for. Kendrick didn't just win a rap beef. He exposed the industry. He exposed fake fans. He exposed the clown show that took over hip-hop. And now, all we can do is sit back, watch the meltdown continue, and ask the only question that really matters. How many more L's y'all gonna take before y'all finally let this man go? If you made it this far, salute. Drop a like, hit subscribe, and if you're trying to see how this whole situation got even worse for Drake, where he actually tried to lie on Kendrick's name through legal paperwork, click on the next video. It gets even more unhinged. We're not done yet.